Evening folks, so the Giant e-bike's broken again, power won't stay on, typical problem. So what you're looking at there is a Giant e-bike with no E, sat on the test rig that I built for easy motor exchange. It's quite annoying to say I can do that in about 45 minutes now. I should never have had to learn, but that's mountain biking for you. So I thought to myself that whilst I'm doing this one, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it this time. I thought it might be of use if I showed some of you the off-bike test rig that I built. So, like anyone who repairs these things regularly, and I'm not a bicycle mechanic by the way, but I do seem to be fixing mine and my mates' bikes a lot. So, like anyone who gets a lot of these giant bikes into repair, you find yourselves pulling connectors apart, cleaning things, drying things out, putting it back together. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and when it does, you're never truly confident which part rectified the fault. So be it the fault where you can't turn it off, or the fault where you can't turn it on, or the fault where it shuts down. It's never really conclusive what fixed it. So we plastic coat the connectors, and we put insulating grease on things. We do all sorts of things and never really seem to get to the bottom of it. So I decided I wanted to build an off-bike test rig. So on occasions like today, where I'm not convinced there's a wiring problem, I can test anything I like on the bench. So I'll quickly walk you through the components I've bought in order to do this. First of all, you'll all recognise that one, spare battery, known to work well, and if I ever want to test it, I can also swap in the battery of my bike. So spare 500 watt-hour battery with plenty of charge in it. So the next thing you need is the discharge connector. Now this is the connector that your battery sits in, or sits on when it's in the bike. Giant have upgraded these later ones. It's already sealed at the back, and the main grommet onto the connector is also sealed. So nice waterproof connector, nothing wrong with that in my opinion. Greatly better than the one fitted to my 2019 model and my current 2020. So at some point I'll upgrade the one on my bike to this new version. So the next thing you need is a main wiring harness. It might surprise you to see one of these off the back. That's it. That's the wiring harness for your bike. This end has got your main data connector for the motor, lights and a CAN bus through port. And this end has got your Ride 1 unit, CAN bus connector and another light connector. This incidentally has got a slight upgrade to it in that they've added a little tiny rubber seal to the connector there to keep moisture out. So first job, we'll connect the CAN bus into there. That means the Ride 1 controller can now talk to the battery. Ride 1 controller, that's the next thing. So got all this stuff from Active Sport, by the way. Great supplier of Giant spares. I buy them from all over the place, but Active Sport's a good reliable source. So this is a FLED 28-15. If you can see that there. I'll try and roll it so you might get a clue. But the FLED 28-15 was the last update to the controllers before they went to the new one with the controller module in there in 2021. So as far as I'm concerned, these are pretty waterproof. I don't think these have problems personally. But this is the connector that's down in your frame by the lock above the battery. So if we connect that now, nice and firmly, and you'll see the new ones have got a little rubber seal over them. So what we can do now is connect the triangular power that connects the battery up, and then we need the motor to be able to talk to the Ride 1 control unit. That's it. We've got lights, spare CAN bus, and that yellow 2-pin connector there is for your charging port. This connector here is the CAN bus from the charging port, and this connector here is the speed sensor from the back wheel. None of those are relevant to the control of the bike. So notch to the front of the bike, we can power that up, and now as far as this system here is concerned, that is on a bike. That is your bike finished. So this, if it goes straight back off, will confirm that in this case it's the motor that's dead. Yeah. So this is one of them cases where you could dry this connector out and all these connectors and all these connectors until you were blue in the face. It wouldn't make any difference, because as this rig proves, the problem is in that motor this time. So frustrating, infuriating in fact, and because it's playing this motor, I've had a motor on order with Giant for weeks and weeks and weeks, and because of Brexit, lack of truck drivers, etc, etc, I can't get hold of one. So it's finally died. Now it doesn't just make noises, now it doesn't work. But I thought that process might be of value to some of you guys who are constantly trying to fix these things and keep them running. So hope you enjoyed it, hope it's useful to you. Bye for now.